Okay, so our bunter is going to first demonstrate the sacrifice bunt. It's an early turn. Turn as the pitcher goes into our windup. We're giving ourselves up as an out so that the runner can advance. Okay, there we go. From the sacrifice, the next bunt we would work on is a bunt for a base hit. Okay, so this may be a similar mechanics of the bunt, but we're going to turn a little later as the pitcher is already into our windup at the top of her circle. We're going to turn, and now we're trying to get a base hit and get ourselves on. Okay, same mechanics, different timing of the turn. Off of the bunt for a base hit would also be a bunt and run, which means with your bunting for a base hit, you're going to bunt still only strikes as you would on the sacrifice, but now the bunt and run is going to be bunting anything in the zone so that your runner can be safe as they're taking off with the pitch. Okay, so bunt and run means your runner's running and you've got to get the ball down. Okay, so you want to turn as you would for a bunt for a base hit, but make sure you're bunting any ball that's anywhere near you. Okay. After that, the next thing we can work on is a slap. Okay, the reason why we want to make sure and we turn early for the sacrifice is to get the ball down. Okay, but also it can help to hide the slap for us. So as we talked about earlier, let's say that you turn for a sacrifice early, you see your corners coming in, and you have the green light to slap the ball, or your coach is already thinking ahead. This is a situation where you may want to slap. So as the pitcher is getting centered or wind up, we're going to turn for the sac, and then as she's coming through her wind up, we're going to bring the hands back, and then boom, slap the ball through. Now there's two different philosophies I feel in the slap. As you saw our bunter do, she set, just brings the hands back, okay, and then a nice little tap. It's controlled. You want to get it on the ground, because we don't want a line drive. You want to get it on the ground so we can advance runners. A lot of times you want to try to chop it maybe over a fielder's head. Okay. The next type of a slap is more of a full swing. So she's going to turn a sacrifice. She's actually going to pivot the hips and come through and give a much harder cut. You may see that from your more power hitters. It's not as controlled as the other slap. And you may see it from girls who are struggling to make contact with the pitcher. It's a good timing technique really for somebody who's taking too big of a cut and really just an effort to get the bat on the ball. The next bunt we want to demonstrate is the bunt slap bunt. It's a little bit more of a difficult bunt. You have to really have the technique of this down, and it's a lot about the timing of it. It's a tempo type bunt. What it is you're going to turn as you're going to sacrifice, then you're going to pull back, show slap, and then back to the bunt. Okay? If you have bunters that can do all three of those very well, meaning sacrifice, slap, bunt, it will keep the corners guessing, which is very good, and that's what you want to do. So once again, she's going to show you sacrifice, slap, bunt. Bunt, slap, bunt is what we call that. Okay? Very, very effective way to bunt the ball. Okay, good. And really, the bonus to that is if you do the shorter slap, that's how you can do the bunt, slap, bunt. So really, I think this shorter slap is a much better, more controlled type slap, and you can also fit the bunt, slap, bunt in there. This next bunt is a very popular bunt. You'll see a lot of girls do this, but you also see a lot of girls do this incorrectly. Okay. The next bunt is the sneaky bunt. So the sneaky bunt is a very, very, very late turn. It's really, you're doing it in an effort to trick the defense. So a lot of times power hitters will do this. Okay, you have defense back, they're looking for you to smash the ball at them, and then you're just gonna switch your feet, get set, and drop the bunt down. Good. So she's getting ready, as you can tell, in a running position. Okay, so she's set in her batting. The pitch is on its way. Boom, sneaky bunt, okay? A lot of times you'll see girls try to sneaky bunt with the bat behind them with one hand. In my opinion, not a very smart way to sneaky bunt. You don't have very good bat control, and a lot of times you'll see the bat head go right into the side. So we really like to teach a sneaky bunt where she's going to turn and get the bat out in front of her body, get it down, be in the running position, and take off towards first, okay? You got to watch this, though. A lot of times you'll see the bat head drop, so you got to make sure you keep your bat head level as you're doing this. And when it comes to sneaky bunt, one really important thing to focus on is the footwork. Our bunter here is going to demonstrate in slow motion what your feet are going to be doing. So you're in your batting stance, the back foot's going to slightly come back, and then you're going to shuffle the front foot forward, bunt, and take off. Okay, you don't want to be running as you're bunting it, but you want to shuffle your feet, bunt, take off. There we go. Okay, so now we're in a good position to try to run towards first base. Back foot back, front foot forward a little, shuffle, get ready to bunt the ball. Okay. The last bunt we want to talk about is the squeeze bunt. It's basically like a bunt and run. You got a runner on third base and you want to score her, which means we're bunting every pitch that's thrown at us. Okay, you want to have good form in trying to get the bunt down, but you want to make sure you get on top of it. We don't want to pop this up because that's the worst case scenario for our third base runner who's running full out towards home plate. Okay, she's going to square a little later than a sacrifice as the pitcher's going into the top of her windup because you don't want to give it up too early with your corners. Okay, so she's coming at the top of her windup. We're going to go ahead and square. Yep. And she's demonstrating we're bunting balls all over the place. Just get the ball down in front of the plate. Do not pop this ball up. Okay, if you have to throw your bat out to make contact, do that.